Impeccably honoured here at Old Trafford, as we love to see. The rest of that United lineup: Mason Greenwood, Nemanja Matic and Brandon Williams, Sergio Romero, Juan Mata, Jesse Lingard on the bench alongside Fred, Diego Dallo, Daniel James, Odion Ighalo, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Scott McTominay. 4 changes to the team that lost 3-1 to Chelsea last time out in the FA Cup. West Ham unchanged to the side that beat Watford in the league. It's Lucas Fabianski, Aaron Cresswell, Mark Noble, the skipper, Jared Bowen and Pablo Fornals as the players pay their homage to Black Lives Matter and all take a knee in front of us as well. Again, very passionately and powerfully done in terms of the message. Fornals, Angelo Ogbonna, Issa Diop, Thomas Souček, Mikel Antonio, Declan Rice and Ben Johnson, the starting 11. It's Darren Randolph, Fabian Balbuena, Andre Yarmolenko and Felipe Anderson, Amor Lanzini, Jack Wilshere, Sebastian Haller, Artur Masuaku and Connor Coventry, the bench for the visitors today. Well, Man United here on Premier League Live, underway as you can hear from referee Paul Tierney's whistle, kicking from left to right in the first half from our vantage point high up in the main stand. That's in their traditional red tops with white shorts and black socks. West Ham in their change kit today. It is white tops, light blue shorts and white socks with a tiny bit of claret trim. United on the attack for the first time in the game. Timothy Fosu-Mensah playing a little 1-2 to Paul Pogba. Mason Greenwood finds the powerful Frenchman midway inside the West Ham half. West Ham already pushing out and trying to deny their opponents time and space. Thomas Souček sticking to Pogba. He turns nicely on halfway and brings Harry Maguire into the game, the Man United skipper. He marauds his way forward to young Brandon Williams on the far side, right-footed, cutting infield. Ball takes a deflection as far as Mason Greenwood, who's twisting and turning, edge of the box. Here's Anthony Martial, dangerous stuff from Man United already. In the end, the ball played from Martial behind Marcus Rashford, who was offside. And West Ham will get a free kick and a bit of respite. Lively start, Paul, from Man U.
Yeah, they've took the game to West Ham and they look ready for the game, and I think all in their minds they know what they need to do, and they've come out all guns blazing.
Yeah, impressive start so far, but David Moyes, who's already to the edge of his technical area and looking beady-eyed at his West Ham players and barking out 1 or 2 instructions. He's been there and experienced all of this before from both sides of the coin. So free kick just on the edge of the box, which the veteran Pole Lucas Fabianski smacks downfield. West Ham can't quite control it through Fornals, and Man U get it back. Lovely through ball from Fernandes to Anthony Martial. Edge of the area, puts the shot in. On target already from Martial. Fabianski flings himself to his right. United not far away from opening the scoring.
God, what a save from Fabianski. That gave him great confidence going through the game, but Man United look quick on the attack and he gets his shot off really well, and it's a great save and well followed up by Ben Johnson.
Dangerous part of the field, and it was Issa Diop doing his best to shepherd Martial away from goal. In the end, still got that shot in, but the keeper doing just about enough. Man U coming forward in droves already. Williams to Rashford, now to the imposing figure of Nemanja Matic. It'll offload from Bruno Fernandes, trying to free Mason Greenwood. Ball takes a ricochet, and Paul, West Ham happy to just smack it down to halfway already. We've only played 2.5 minutes.
I know, yeah, they're conceding the ball away straight away and set Man United straight back on the attack. They need to try and get a grip of the game.
Man U, no doubt wounded by that defeat to Chelsea in the Cup to stop their unbeaten run at 19 games. Fernandes shot from Mason Greenwood, short back left footed, got it away in a blink of an eye, but the keeper saw it early enough and saved it low to his right.
I think Pogba's picking the ball up a lot and getting a lot of space, and he's making Man United sick early on, and Greenwood coming off the side, we know he's got a great left foot, but there's the Martial chance here.
Yeah, just looking at the big screen of Martial's opportunity, and to be fair, Diop, apart from the shot going through his legs at the end, just pushing him out wide and stopping him closing in on goal. He didn't do too badly, did he?
No, he done fantastic, but what a good save from the goalkeeper.
So already, Lucas Fabianski, a busy man, but it is 0-0. 3.5 minutes played here on Premier League Live, Man U and West Ham. Marcus Rashford miscontrols slightly, but still almost takes the ball around the Frenchman Issa Diop, but Diop holds his ground well and offloads to Declan Rice, the all-action young midfielder we spoke so much about in the build-up to this game. Will he be at West Ham next season? Hammers fans certainly hope so for their young England star. The skipper, the icon of the club, Mark Noble, he plays a little 1-2 just beneath our commentary box with Aaron Cresswell. Bang on halfway, Diop to the youngster Ben Johnson, 20-year-old, who's got a bit of game time of light at full-back. That's good to see, by the way, isn't it? Ben Johnson getting a chance.
Yeah, massively, but every time I think Ben Johnson's played, he's played against probably a few of the best teams, both Man City and now Manchester United, so he's had a tough game every time he's played.
The archetypal baptism of fire, but I suppose, Paul, no better way to learn.
No, of course, you want to play against the best, and this is what it's about.
As long as you don't get ripped apart and have your confidence shredded, as long as you do well enough, then hopefully you come back for more. I bet you've had one or two tough one-on-ones over the years.
Playing against Manchester United, Ronaldo, he was always a tough one.
What you do in the end, just bring him down?
You know me too well, Russell.
Bruno Fernandes to Nemanja Matic on the edge of the D. Mason Greenwood, another good flowing team move from the Red Devils. Pogba to this near stand side edge of the box. Timothy Fosu-Mensah, opportunities ahead of him, a little limited, so he goes back in field to Pogba, to Matic. He tries to guide one through to Rashford. His attempted dummy doesn't quite come off. And West Ham have a chance to bring the ball clear, easing it downfield through the Welshman Jared Bowen, big signing from Hull City. He's largely done well since coming into the Premier League. Bowen feels that he was fouled. Referee's assistant had a good view and had other ideas and gave Man United the throw. Taken quickly by Brandon Williams to Maguire, and now to Nemanja Matic with that typical long lolloping stride. The Serb wearing 31 brings it downfield, finds Rashford, whose rather hopeful punt upfield wasn't the best on this occasion, I have to say. And Man United temporarily lose it, but then win it back with fairly effortless ease. Matic about 10 yards inside the West Ham half. Nearly 6 minutes played on Premier League Live. It stays Man United 0, West Ham 0. Maguire out to the left hand side as United just probe and try and stretch their opponents and find another way through. Anthony Martial again upended by the youngster Johnson for a free kick, and maybe a little sign of inexperience there from the 20-year-old. United take that free kick quickly. 1-2 again between Rashford and Martial. 44 goals between them this season in all competitions. Pogba's delivery, Martial tries to bring it down. Johnson saw it late, but the youngster chested it down before completing a right-footed clearance almost up to halfway. Fellow young rising star Brandon Williams of United brings it down. Through ball from Matic, cut out by Rice, but only as far as Bruno Fernandes. Head up, the Portuguese, brilliant so far since his arrival at Man U. Directing play with great gusto and great confidence. Now Pogba plays a 1-2 with Matic, still about 7 or 8 yards inside the West Ham half. Man U just bubbling over nicely, possibly about to come to the boil. We've seen them blow their opponents in this game wide open twice already. Matic surveying his options once more. Left-footed pass. Williams has a bit more space potentially to whip in across. Instead, goes back in field to Matic again. All wide to Fernandes. What can the Portuguese conjure up here, I wonder? Of course, he scored the consolation goal against Chelsea in that cup defeat from the penalty spot after Martial was fouled. Man U, Paul, here just saying good patience, aren't they, as they wait for the opportunity?
Yeah, West Ham are making it hard for them. They're getting everyone behind the ball, but it's like a little keep ball session for Manchester United at the moment, but just waiting for that right time to go and to try and break the line.
I guess you can only keep this up for so long as well, can't you?
Yeah, you can. It's like attack v defence at the moment, and there's only be a certain amount of time you can do it, like you say.
Well, Matic picks up a fairly powerful and overhit pass back to him from Rashford. He's forced back again, and having been cut open early, West Ham will be fairly happy with how the last 4 or 5 minutes has played out. Excellent interception there under pressure, good sliding challenge from Pablo Fornals, the Spaniard who has got a relatively forward responsibility in the game, but tracked back there and made a very important sliding stop. Again though, West Ham struggle to hold on to the ball once they make the interception. Man U have it back. Fosu-Mensah, it ricochets off Fornals. Fosu-Mensah thinks it should be a corner. Fornals wants the goal kick, and West Ham get the decision, Paul.
Yeah, let's hope West Ham can try and keep the ball for a couple of minutes, because it's going to be a long game for them if they can't. If it keeps going back to Manchester United and they keep the ball like they are, it's going to be a long night for West Ham.
At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in. Jack Woods has tweeted us from New Zealand, the beautiful land of the long white clouds, saying, "Morning boys, I'm up early getting ready for work, getting my Premier League fix before a long day in the office." So Jack, we appreciate that. Top man. So yeah, it's already tomorrow there, isn't it? So he's up very, very early. It's about 6-7 a.m. in New Zealand, so fair play to you, Jack. Good to have you with us. Ihan Goodness tweeting in as well, saying United will share the spoils with West Ham tonight. He's predicting a draw and he signed it, "We are Chelsea." What a surprise. A few Chelsea fans, I think, would like to see United slip up today, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would. Of course they would. But I don't think Man United would like to do that. And the way they've come out tonight, I think they know it's business time.
Nearly 9.5 played. Listening to Premier League Live. Pleasure to bring you this game around the world. Man U 0, West Ham 0. And we've looked basically right, haven't we, the entire match so far, and we have to crane our heads left because West Ham are kind of on the attack and they've got a throw not too far from the corner flag. I'd forgotten about looking this way.
I think it's the first time they've made this half, to be fair, Russell. So hopefully they can make something happen and keep the ball in United's half for 5 minutes.
Man U with 86% possession so far, which isn't bad for the first 10 minutes. Cresswell plays it back to Antonio, of course banging form with those 9 goals this season and 5 in his last 2 games. Needless foul in the end. Mason Greenwood just getting a bit stuck in when he didn't need to, and West Ham have won a free kick. Let's look at the replay. Antonio cuts in, Greenwood tries to stick with him and just sticks out a needless arm.
Yeah, there wasn't no need for it, and West Ham now going to send the big boys up, and set play is going to be vital for West Ham if they're not going to get many chances elsewhere.
Well, if West Ham could do something from here, it would be one almighty turn up for the books given the balance of play of the first 10.5 minutes, but Greenwood's slight indiscretion has given David Moyes' side an excellent platform from which to attack. It's a free kick about 3 yards out from the edge of the box. Cresswell whips it in. It's a devilish delivery from Aaron Cresswell. We know he's got that in his locker, but frustratingly from West Ham's point of view, nobody can get a sliver of a touch on it.
No, there was no one attacking the ball. It's a fantastic delivery from Cresswell, but you want to see people dying for them. You don't get many at Old Trafford, and you've got to die for that.
Man U playing out from the back and putting themselves under a bit of pressure there. Lindelof, Pogba and Maguire, and then in the end Maguire decides to smack it downfield, and arguably they should have probably done that from the get-go.
Yeah, I think they're getting a bit carried away. Obviously they're on top at the moment and they're trying to play out from the back, but they can't be taking liberties like they are.
Matic now being pressed heavily by Thomas Souček. Ball played across field as Man U tried to build with a little bit more sustainability and a bit more poise this time. That's shown by the youngster Brandon Williams to Matic, now to Pogba, who marauds his way forward. Flat, angled pass, nicely controlled on the far side by Bruno Fernandes. The Portuguese international has taken up a little spot on the left wing as the interchangeable 3 behind the front man just spread their wings for United. It leads to a free kick taken quickly on the far side, but again, ball played behind Marcus Rashford, not for the first time in this game. He loses possession, but this time Man United do manage to get the throw about midway inside West Ham territory. Here's Matic once more, but he's got 3 players on him, and a mixture of Mark Noble and Jared Bowen win the ball back. That was much better from West Ham, who hold on to the ball, having won the tackle for once as well, and that's another sign of positivity for the Irons, who have given it away with a bit too much frivolity in the game so far. Over the top from the youngster Ben Johnson, but poor ball, and again a lack of composure bringing Man U right back into it.
Yeah, like you say, they keep the ball for 3 or 4 passes, but they get, I don't know, like you say, a little bit carried away maybe, and they try and play a ball that isn't on, and they give it straight back to Man United, and now put them back on the ball and under pressure.
Victor Lindelof in plenty of space, 13 minutes in, just inside his own half. Man United 0, West Ham 0, and don't forget, after we're done and dusted, 8:15 UK time, so just over 2 hours, Liverpool and Chelsea with Tom Rennie and Paul Parker, when Liverpool will lift the trophy at the Kop end afterward. Ball over the top is a beauty, controlled by Fernandes initially, but he couldn't get the shot away. Great vision and poise from Man U. Fernandes applauds the delivery, but for once the maestro just fluffed his lines.
Yeah, he's good at that, Fernandes. He's got that last minute run and he's fantastic, and normally he'll get that under control and get his shot off, but I think West Ham need to be careful with that third man run from him, and the back 2 need to be communicating.
Well, it's Rashford's ball over the top, which was a cracker, and just as he brought it down, it skimmed off his standing foot. Had it not done that and hit the turf, I think he probably would have got his shot in. Very, very close, believe you me. Fernandes knew it, but was quick to thank the build-up play from Marcus Rashford. Fernandes, since his arrival, with 9 goals and 8 assists already, which since January is a remarkable achievement, particularly given the COVID-19 hiatus during that as well, Paul.
unbelievable. He's settled in straight away, and like you say, he's a great player and he's playing with great players. So for him not to settle in would have been hard to come to terms with, but he's done what he's meant to be doing, and what a fantastic signing.
Yeah, he's done very well indeed. Mark Noble there for West Ham. Just for a second the loose ball ricocheted to him, but West Ham unable to do anything too meaning or too dangerous with it, and in the end the ball trickles out for a Manchester United goal kick. And while David Moyes is still at the edge of his technical area, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Paul, has taken up a more leisurely position in a nice comfy seat, hasn't he?
Yeah, he did. He looked quite chilled at the moment. I think where Manchester United have got a lot of the football, final passes ain't great, but while they're on top, he looks nice and calm.
Nearly 15 minutes played on Premier League Live. It's still Man U 0, West Ham 0. Philip Presido has tweeted in saying, "Welcome guys, so happy that today's match is on, listening from Lagos in Nigeria, predicting that Fernandes will set up Martial for a goal and that Rashford will get one with a brilliant finish as well." Philip, we will see whether or not you're right, but I think the players you've listed, a very decent chance at least that they might either score or assist over the course of this game. Official Abbas saying, "I need a draw for Man U tonight," and he signed that hashtag #DeBlues. So another Chelsea fan hoping that Man United don't get the job done. One more for now. Victor D, "Great job guys, loving every moment of your commentary from Port Harcourt in Nigeria, listening via Niger FM." He says Man U will lose this one tonight 2-1. Okay, well, a couple of goals from West Ham will have to come from somewhere. Not seen too much hope so far, apart from maybe the set pieces. Well, Man U overhit that one and ask a bit too much from Maguire of Timothy Fosu-Mensah. Long ball downfield, nice clearance this time from Angelo Ogbonna, Italian, at the heart of defence for West Ham alongside his French colleague Issa Diop. Largely a stout and secure rear guard for West Ham of late, forming a decent partnership, no question. Part of the reason that they've been having a lot of wins of late and have climbed that table and got themselves effectively out of relegation trouble. They'd have to lose something like 4-0 and 7-0 over the last couple of games to yet go down if everybody else won, and that ain't going to happen, and that is something to build from for next season, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, massively. I think since Ogbonna's got back in the team with Diop, the partnership's been really good. It's just that the two fullbacks for West Ham have been changing for injuries and maybe not playing so well, so they need to get a settled back four maybe for next season, and they can build on that.
Well, I love Aaron Cresswell. I'll just go back to that in a second, because Maguire slightly scuffs his back pass under pressure from Mikel Antonio, but Victor Lindelof was there to just hoover up and help dig his central defensive colleague and club captain out of trouble, and Man United just build from the back. I'm a big fan of Aaron Cresswell. For me, he's never been quite the same consistency wise since that serious injury a couple of years ago, but he is still an excellent footballer.
Yeah, and we see from the first 5 minutes his delivery into the box is second to none, so we all know what he can do, but we need that consistency, especially being a West Ham fullback.
Player who scored a couple of nice goals this season as well. We were commentating on one earlier-ish in the campaign. Man U, from distance through Martial, pulls the trigger, powerful strike, but always rising, and in the end a good 4 or 5 yards above Lucas Fabianski's crossbar, but I guess why not have a pop?
Yeah, probably getting a little bit frustrated in and around the box. He hasn't had a chance inside the box yet, and he's probably getting frustrated. West Ham is sitting right off him.
18 gone, Man United 0, West Ham 0. Remember, West Ham won the reverse fixture at London Stadium back in September by 2-0. Dearly love to get that league double for the first time in nigh on 15 years. Pogba, though, with other ideas as far as Marcus Rashford. Back heel as far as Mason Greenwood, left edge of the box. Picked up once more by Anthony Martial, who's got Williams on the overlap, and he chooses to go infield instead. United being pushed back slightly, but still with the ball. Matic to Pogba to Fernandes, just near the edge of the D. Pogba driving forward around Rice, 1-2. Behind Pogba, Greenwood can't get there. Rice picks it up. West Ham get it clear. Cresswell this time with a bit more poise on the ball, decides to run it clear, and runs it clear nicely initially, but his pass is then poor. Matic with his big tall rangy figure picks it up, he slips, no foul. United give it away. West Ham have it back through Ogbonna. It's played off Pogba and out for a throw. Slightly scrappy passage of play there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but West Ham are trying to find their way into the game, and I think they're struggling with Manchester United pressure, but they just need to try and make a few more passes and slow the game and get play at their tempo.
Good tackle by Fosu Mensah on Fornals, but West Ham still engineer the ball back to their goalkeeper Fabianski. First time pass to the far side to young fullback Ben Johnson. Forward to Thomas Souček, the Czech wearing 28. He's scored a couple of important goals himself of late. He's become an important part of this West Ham team in relatively recent times. Good pick up from Davy Moyes. Moyes just trying to slowly mould this team in his own image, as we expect him to probably continue in this role next season, would you say, Paul?
Yeah, I think so. He's done fantastic to keep him out the relegation battle for the last few weeks. Kept him safe, and hopefully he can build on what he started towards the end of the season.
Great little 1-2 on the far side. Head-to-head battle between Brandon Williams and Mikel Antonio. And in the end, Antonio just about getting clear. Williams making the block, aided by Harry Maguire, but the ball behind for a West Ham corner and another set-piece dead ball opportunity.
Yeah, West Ham hopefully can make Mensah these, and they're sending the big two centre-backs up, and with a great delivery, hopefully they can get something on it.
First corner of the game. We've seen West Ham with a dangerous free kick from Cresswell before. Corner, whipped it on the far side. Souček's delivery was good, ball was flicked on, and Harry Maguire had to react quickly on the edge of the 6-yard box to hook the ball clear, which he did. Bowen picks it up though for West Ham on the edge of the box as far as Fornals. Up against Williams, who may have just twisted his ankle there, the youngster. He's hobbling. I think he's okay to continue, but he is slightly impeded. Bowen's delivery is a promising one. As you say, one of the big centre-halves was up there, putting Maguire under all sorts of pressure. It was a Bonner, and in the end the whistle blows for the free kick. Foul in the end by the Italian. And West Ham, I'm afraid, from their point of view, don't get the goal that they would like, but again, that was fairly promising, wasn't it, if somewhat physical?
Yeah, I think just a little build up to get the corner in the first place was better from West Ham. They got a few passes in, and they got something to reward themselves, so they need to keep the tempo up in the Manchester United half.
West Ham, no attempts in the game so far, despite a decent bit of endeavour and one or two promising set pieces. Man U with 3 shots, 2 of which have been on target. Real injection of pace suddenly from Marcus Rashford, who takes matters into his own hands and runs beautifully, gliding with the ball. Picks it back up on the edge of the box, takes the ball neatly around Issa Diop, but can't beat a second West Ham defender. And the Irons again packing that box full of numbers, and safety in numbers in the end wins the day for the visitors. Similar story as they boot the ball downfield, picked up just inside the West Ham half by Man United once more. We're approaching exactly halfway through the first half. It remains Manchester United 0, West Ham 0. And remember, Liverpool-Chelsea, including the trophy lift to come with Tom Rennie and Paul Parker a little later. Delivery this time from the far side from Martial, looking for Greenwood. It's headed half clear by Bonner, but only as far on the edge of the D to Pogba. To Fosu Mensah, the ball's in space, and somehow it doesn't get driven home. The offside flag goes up, so it wouldn't have counted. But Man U queuing up for the delivery from Fosu Mensah. No one there to guide it in.
I think Manchester United are very dangerous around the box. They play so quick, and you see Pogba, he's looking to shoot, but he knows what else he wants to do, and they've got 5 players, attacking players in the box, and you need to keep Manchester United away from that.
Yeah, replay showing probably 2 Man U players, including Fosu Mensah, the other being Greenwood, just in offside positions as that move began. But West Ham, regardless, passengers as Man U's silky interplay was close to cutting them wide open, and when they're on song, that's what they can do to you, no matter almost how you try to defend against it, Paul.
Yeah, they're so good. Like we spoke before, the front 4, especially for Manchester United, they're frightening, and you've got Pogba and Matic at just behind them, and they're picking passes off, and especially tonight against West Ham, they're not really pressurising Pogba. He's got acres of space, and he can pick what he wants out at the moment, so I think a bit more pressure on Pogba to try and stop him dictating the game.
Just having the drinks break as David Moyes gives a few instructions to his players. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doing the same to Manchester United. Moyes, who's not managed to win a league game at Old Trafford in 12 attempts as a boss on the return to either his former stomping ground or before he went there with Everton. 3 draws, 9 defeats. I wonder if he'll ever, as a boss, get a win here, and I wonder if today might be the day or one of his best chances. We'll have to wait and see still, won't we?
We will, Russell. But at the moment, the way Manchester United started, they mean business. But West Ham, they're getting into the game, and hopefully they can get a few more passes and get a few shots off at the other end.
United, which is Ricky Smee, has tweeted in saying we really need the 3 points. Glory, glory, Man U. Hope that hashtag MUFC get the job done. Jack Woods has updated us. It was 5:15 a.m. New Zealand time when he tweeted, so that is a committed man. Fair play to you, my friend. And DJ Keith enjoying the commentary in Miami, where a massive cruise ship has just pulled into the harbour. Very nice picture he sent us of that, saying, "Come on, my mighty West Ham." So great to have a listener all the way there from southern Florida. Excellent work to you. Victor D also listening from Port Harcourt in Nigeria, saying 2-1 the final score to West Ham United. OK, my friend, we will wait and see. So 25 gone, Man U 0, West Ham 0. Referee Paul Tierney not happy there and has given a free kick, and Paul Pogba rubbing his elbow. Didn't quite see what happened there, but regardless, West Ham have got the free kick to Aaron Cresswell, Paul.
Yeah, like I say, West Ham needs to get a few passes in and try and get Antonio. He's out wide there, but we need him in the box and try and get him into the game.
Antonio just pulled to the left-hand side there as he tried to mix things up and put a delivery into the box. He did so, but United comfortably cleared, and they come forward with rapier-like intensity again. Quick moves, surging forward, the Red Devils.
Yeah, they're 1 minute in West Ham's box, their own box defending, and then they've got 5 players in West Ham's box. They break so quick, and that's what West Ham have got to be careful of.
Yeah, so purposeful and so direct when they put their minds to it, and because they don't do it every time, when they do, it can take teams by surprise and get them on the back foot. West Ham in danger of being in that position here, but they just about held their line, held their defensive shape. Man U have been pushed back to about midway inside their half again. Matic, clever left-footed ball through, takes 2 players out of the game as far as Marcus Rashford, and great defending there from the youngster Ben Johnson. Just his 3rd start for West Ham, and he did excellently there against Rashford, stood his ground and nicked the ball off the England man with no problems.
Yeah, fantastic defending. He's a great physical lad, and that gave him the world of confidence. 1v1v Rashford, and he's come out on top.
William Sue has tweeted in saying, I know the crowded schedule has taken its toll on the players, but listening at work in suburban Minnesota, loving all of it, saying it's made his afternoons tolerable, and he'll miss us terribly when the season is done. So William, we appreciate that. In the meanwhile, Bruno Fernandes with a shot from distance, off balance, always rising, and into a blanket of red seats and red awnings behind the goal. Fernandes has been relatively quiet in this game so far, hasn't he? We've seen a couple of moments, but he'd like to be maybe a bit more involved.
Yeah, and I think that's when Manchester United tick the best, when he's more involved and getting on the ball, trying to thread them passes. Man United come to life.
United trying to come to life here, but getting the ball away. Youngster Brandon Williams with an errant pass, picked up instead by Declan Rice, who surges forward and under pressure from a combination of Pogba and Matic, manages to keep his footing and initially keep hold of the ball, but as he then tries to find Thomas Souček, Man United win it back. So all those efforts there from Rice ultimately coming to nothing. Good challenge there from Issa Diop to nick the ball off Bruno Fernandes once more. And this is better from West Ham, just beneath our vantage point. Here's Mikel Antonio surging to the edge of the penalty area. 1-2 with Victor Lindelof, plays it off the Swede. It ricochets back off Antonio, says the referee, for a goal kick. Antonio really wants a corner, but I don't think he's going to get it.
That's a lot better from West Ham, but Antonio's doing the work outside, and there's not many people. He's going to cross the ball there. There's probably one West Ham player trying to burst the gut to get in the box, and that's where we want Mikel Antonio.
Brandon Williams playing the ball back to his goalkeeper David De Gea. Antonio tries a surging little run to intercept. No joy. De Gea finds Lindelof, who's calling out to his opposing or to his teammates to just ask for options, because outlets are a bit limited there. If you're going to play out from the back, people surely, Paul, need to make themselves available and become the outlets you need.
Yeah, but I think you've got to give West Ham credit. They're pushing 4 or 5 players forward, so they don't. So Manchester United don't play out, and they have to try and kick it. Man United are taking liberties and trying to play out, and that's why West Ham are pressing so high.
And again, back to the point of earlier, to try and keep that intensity up for a full 90 minutes is a tough ask, isn't it? But I guess it is doable, and it's the kind of thing David Moyes no doubt will have been working heavily at.
Yeah, like you say, it's going to be a tough ask, but if West Ham can do it for majority of the game, then I think the manager will be really pleased.
Jared Bowen on the far side, again directing play, pointing in field. He wants the ball back and gets it back from Declan Rice. Bowen, who's been a good outlet in this game so far, and largely has done that exact same job since his arrival from the Championship a few months ago. Souček to Cresswell to Mark Noble. Noble, who's been that typical understated enforcer in this game so far. Might be getting on in years, but you largely know what you'll get from Mark Noble. I bet you remember one or two happy moments with him, Paul.
Yeah, he was a young boy when he got straight into in the team when I was there, and he had ability coming out of his ear rolls, and he's proved it for playing 500 games for West Ham United.
Excellent play here from West Ham. Long ball over the top as far as Jared Bowen. He brought it down, thought about getting a shot away. Harry Maguire cut across, the ball's behind for a corner. And as Bowen tried to bring the ball down to shoot, he might have just taken a little bit of a blow. Let's hope that this isn't too serious.
I just think Williams got him in the belly a little bit as he's tried to clear the ball, but well played from Bowen.
Yeah, it does seem to be okay, doesn't he? He's just had the wind taken out of him slightly. The number 17 for West Ham. And as you say, as Maguire scurried across, Brandon Williams did fairly well in a one-on-one situation to at least make the block. But it is at the expense of a corner, which Mr. West Ham, the man who bleeds claret and blue, Mark Noble, will take on the far side. It's a short corner to Bowen, who's straight back into the fray. Clever ball swung in! Oh, great opportunity for West Ham to take the lead. Angelo Ogbonna it was who rose highest, but he can't get his third of the season, and he heads it just past De Gea's upright.
Yeah, it's quick thinking from Mark Noble, and it's a great ball in from Bowen. Ogbonna was unlucky there, but this is where West Ham are going to be dangerous from a set play.
Looking at the replay, it was a bit wider than I thought actually. He probably should have done a lot better. He guided it a good 5 or 6 yards wide by the end, completely unmarked.
Yeah, he got above the defender really well, but just couldn't edit on target, where we expect a big centre-half like Ogbonna to at least hit the target.
Just the kind of opportunity that West Ham want, and surely they have to be more clinical and take if they are to leave Old Trafford with the rarest and most precious of wins. Remember, they are effectively safe given their superior goal difference, 6 points clear of those beneath them, and with a massively superior goal difference, so they are all but in the Premier League next season. But getting something here just adds to the sweetness, no question, on the back of what has been an excellent run in recent weeks for David Moyes' men from East London. Anthony Martial putting Ogbonna under pressure, the man who failed to convert that chance at the other end moments ago. West Ham forced to build from the back. Young Ben Johnson's ball hugging the far touchline, just slightly offline, and it trickles out of play for a throw. Old man Jenkins has tweeted in saying, "Hi guys, loving your commentary from Port Harcourt. Man United will win this one. I hope that Igalo gets to come on early enough." Says that Man U and Chelsea will round out the top 4 and Leicester will miss out on the Champions League spot. I think, old man Jenkins, a lot of people would agree. Felix Daniel, by the way, hoping that Jack Grealish comes to Man United next season, saying that the balance of he and Bruno Fernandes would see United play with ease. That would be quite interesting if they could bring Jack in next season, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there'd be a lot of great midfielders at Manchester United. We know the players they've got, and they're fantastic, but bringing a young talent like Grealish there just adds to what Manchester United are all about.
Well, Paul, they're linked with a lot of players, aren't they? Grealish is one, Jadon Sancho clearly is another. Big money, 6, 7, 8 figure money from Borussia Dortmund. Raul Jimenez, I see, has been linked from Wolves. That'd be a goodie, but a tough one to see through. There are some very lofty ambitions about who Man United might sign next season to add to their collective.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's important Manchester United playing the Champions League. Players, and very good players, want to play in the best leagues, and the Champions League is obviously the best you can play in, and that's why Manchester United will attract them if they can get there.
Fosu Mensah on the edge of the area, young player enjoying the opportunity of a start this evening. Looking at Solskjaer, does always like to try and give youth its chance, and one of the reasons he is liked by the fans and liked by the Man United hierarchy, whereas the likes maybe of Jose Mourinho or various other managers before him have perhaps erred on playing the veterans and the big names consistently. Solskjaer does give youth and quality and promise its chance. Brandon Williams, another example of that on the far side. Young fullback wearing 53, played in a more advanced role last time out. This time he's back to the more kind of familiar fullback position. And in the end, the United move comes to little. Lucas Fabianski picks the ball up, but building for the future as well as having the chequebook is a good balance, I think, for Man U, isn't it? And one that historically they've often done. Yeah,
and I think where the manager at Manchester United has played there as well, he knows the young ones coming through, and that's why I think he gives them a chance as well, because he knows they are capable of playing for Manchester United.
Yeah, good point, well made. Here come Man United. Pogba offloaded by Martial to Mason Greenwood. Edge of the area, left-footed as far as Fernandes, and things continue not to quite work for the brilliant Bruno Fernandes tonight. Mark Noble helps break up players, he's so good at doing. Fernandes slips, and Man U are pushed all the way back to the edge of their own penalty area. Man U, by the way, have lost just 2 of 23 home Premier League matches against West Ham. 119 drawn 2 and lost 2. Funnily enough, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer played in both those defeats, interestingly enough. I'm sure he'll be putting that one to bed tonight. Man U, as we mentioned, unbeaten in 12 in the Premier League heading in as they've climbed the table. 8 wins and 4 draws. It equals Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's longest sequence unbeaten as boss. Equals the run when he arrived at the club, replacing Jose Mourinho. Here's Matic, edge of the D. Again, West Ham packing midfield with Rice, Souček and Noble all around him. Still Man U though, work the ball forward. Slightly fortuitous ricochet as far as Matic, now to Fosu-Mensah. Errant pass from him, but Matic reacts quickly. Plays a clever through ball to Martial. West Ham will have to be careful here. Oh, Martial just dragged it from right foot to left. Tried to feed Mason Greenwood on the edge of the 6-yard box, but again, tight, congested room to operate. And West Ham happy to get the ball to safety, but slightly dangerous times there.
Yeah, very dangerous, and I think West Ham are doing really well getting players behind the ball when it matters. And Man United are finding it hard to break them down.
Oh, wonderful shot from distance. Brilliant save in the end from Lucas Fabianski. You could hear the thud of the ball on his gloves. Not for the first time in this game. Man U with a bit of an air of frustration, letting fly from distance. That one very much on target. And Fabianski making the save.
Yeah, fantastic. And just, you took the words out of my mouth, Russell. They're getting a little bit frustrated, and Rashford tried one from 25-30 yards, and what a fantastic strike, but what a even better save.
And we talk about the silky interplay and the passing, but so many Man U players are also adept at just letting rip from distance technically as well. Martial to Williams, he puts it over the top. Shot in the end takes a deflection from Fosu-Mensah. It trickles wide, and I think will only be a goal kick in the end. But once more, Man U queuing up on the edge of the box. Red jerseys swarming left, right and centre. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side close to taking the lead.
Yeah, I think he was a bit... he didn't know if to head that or volley it then, Mensah. He's so far forward that he's probably not used to, and the ball's just come to him and didn't know if to head it or to volley it. But fantastic play again from Manchester United.
Just looking at the replay of Rashford's effort, the main thing about it wasn't the direction, it was kind of straight at the keeper, which is why he made the save. It was the dip though. The dip was absolutely brutal when you look at the replay from behind the goal. A very powerful back pass. I think it was from Noble. Fabianski chested it down very well, given the fact he had a ball returning to him at a rate of knots that could have taken his head off. But as he chested it down, his clearance then was shanked. Man U then miscontrol it as well. Not a pretty passage of play. West Ham worked the ball downfield, but Antonio's ball takes a deflection. It's into the gloves of David De Gea, and now United, with another of those forceful, purposeful counter-attacks, come surging forward through Rashford. He finds Greenwood, he miscontrols. In the end, Issa Diop wins it and plays it out for a throw to Man U, taken quickly by Anthony Martial. It's all happening all of a sudden here. Rashford slows things down as we pause for breath, but incidents at both ends of the field. Crikey, it's all happening, isn't it?
Yeah, just on that West Ham attack, Souček in the middle was on his own. If Antonio could move it ball quicker, he was one-on-one with a goalie. It was surprising for Manchester United.
Very odd back pass from Noble before, and Fabianski did the hard bit right and then managed to but like one of your 4 irons, kind of shank it out of play. It was all very, very strange. Here come United again. Williams is in space, cuts inside his man quite beautifully. Oh, ball as far as one man,
what
two.
A block.
Fernandez can't get his shot in. Greenwood's effort blocked, as you say. Rice was there putting his body on the line, so was Ogbonna, and West Ham brilliantly get that ball clear.
Fantastic play again for Manchester United, but even better defending from West Ham. All bodies on the line here, but well played from Williams there, and what a fantastic block from Ogbonna that was.
Wow. So Williams' turn to take Bowen out of the game was stunning. First time right-footed pass, right-footed left back on his stronger foot. Rice reacts, Ogbonna puts his body on the line, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we're just seeing a replay, he knew how close that was as he puts his hands and his eyes to the heavens. Nearly 40 gone. Moments of flatness and lack of quality, but then moments of brilliance in this game. It's been really up and down, hasn't it? But it's been quite compelling as a result for me, even though it is still 0-0.
Yeah, like you say, some bits are good, some bits ain't too good, but it's a good game of football at the moment, Russell, and both teams trying to win their football match.
Ball from the far side from the youngster Johnson, fed by Jared Bowen. On that occasion he gets it wrong. In fact, it was Antonio, beg your pardon, on the overlap who tried the early delivery, overhit it, and it fizzes out of play for a goal kick. David Moyes not so happy with that one, but so far so good. We've mentioned his returns to OT largely have not been great. This one, given the pressure they've been under and the pressure they've largely sucked up, has not been bad. We have played exactly 40 minutes. Man U 0, West Ham 0. Another probing ball looking for Anthony Martial. Continues his run, but the ball doesn't get there. Over the top from West Ham this time. It really is opening up. Victor Lindelof is forced to truck across. Antonio, who switches flanks back to the left. 1-2 with Fornals. Up against Lindelof once more. The momentum sucked slightly out of this West Ham attack, but still they come. Cresswell looks up, no options forward. He's forced to go to a central defensive pairing of Diop and Ogbonna. They play the ball between themselves. Fernandez comes scurrying over. United just trying to force the error from West Ham. The ball coming very, very close to going out of play, but Noble just about keeps it in play, bang on the dead ball line, right beneath our commentary vantage point here at Old Trafford. Balance of play 0-0 fair for you, or do you think Man U should be ahead?
You look at the chance Manchester United have had, you probably say there should be probably one goal up, but it's been fantastic from West Ham trying to put their bodies on the line, and if they go in at 0-0, I think West Ham will be the happier team.
Lovely interception from Paul Pogba, who played a first time pass effortlessly out to the far side to Mason Greenwood. Greenwood, who's been fairly quiet in this game so far. Lovely 1-2 with Pogba. Offload, flicked on by Fernandez. Rashford wasn't where he thought he would be. And the ball instead is played into space, giving West Ham the opportunity to counter-attack again through Noble. Out to the far side, this is young Ben Johnson. Looking for Fornals, but Fornals was never going to get to that one. And West Ham really confused there in terms of their interplay. Maguire wins it. Fornals goes down holding his face, not much in that. West Ham for me gave that one away way too cheaply.
Yeah, it's getting a bit scrappy again, isn't it, Russell? I think both teams will get a good talking to in a half-time break, and let's see if the manager can get the teams playing.
Yeah, both these teams have been scoring for fun of late. We know about the front three of Man U and what they can do. West Ham have scored at least 3 goals in 6 Premier League games this season. Only West Ham, Man U and Man City have managed that, 3+ on 6 or more occasions, which is a very decent effort. But today so far it's all been rather quiet. Will that change? Lovely ball over the top from Rice. Johnson's delivery to Antonio. It's on target. Antonio looking for yet another goal, ghosting in behind Harry Maguire. His effort though guided straight at David De Gea.
Yeah, it's a great ball from Declan Rice, and it's a great early ball from Ben Johnson, and Antonio's done well to come on the back of Lindelof. But maybe he should score there. He hasn't really even headed it there. It's Lindelof.
Maguire was the one who let it go, as you say. Lindelof just behind him, and I don't think Antonio quite knew what to do, did he? And almost kind of just put a little bit of backwards pressure on the Man U defender, and as you say, Lindelof cranes his neck and under the heaviest of pressure guides the ball back. But it's still a decent chance for West Ham, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good, and I think that's where West Ham are going to score, from either out wide or from a set play.
Greenwood slips. West Ham on the edge of the D win the ball back once more. Pablo Fornals with a 1-2 with Antonio. Antonio again beats his man. Oh, Timothy Foster-Mensah hacks him down. That's going to be a yellow card. Foster-Mensah saying he lost his footing and it wasn't deliberate, but pretty sure the youngster's going to go in the book here, and that was a good West Ham move that was fairly brutally snuffed out.
Yeah, they look...
Ow!
They're getting in under Man United skins at the moment, and they're getting into the game probably a little bit too late, and Antonio's had 2 or 3 great runs down the outside, and hopefully he can get at Mensah now. He's on a yellow card.
Timothy Fosu-Mensah does go into the book for that, and we can safely say that was fair enough. Antonio sent tumbling down to earth. Very promising move. The net result is a West Ham free kick. It's about 30-35 yards out, just to the left edge of the penalty area. Too far out, you'd have thought, from which to shoot. But a nice whipped-in cross could be the way forward. Will it be the right foot of Noble or the left foot of Aaron Cresswell? Declan Rice is standing over the ball as well. And the big West Ham centre-halves are up there too. One in the wall trying to make a nuisance of himself. That's Ogbonna. And the other Diop on the edge of the 6-yard box is played short to Rice, who shoots from distance, appeals for a penalty. Shot sent the Man U player Pogba flying backwards. Did it hit his arm?
The way he's got up there, Russell, I think he has, but he's playing on that, pretending it's hit his head, I think.
Here's the replay. So the short free kick routine to Rice.
Oh, Shamble.
So Pogba tries to protect his own face with a rocket of a shot.
They're going to give a penalty,
I think
surely.
This will be a penalty. He's trying to protect his face, fair enough, and it's an instinctive reaction from Paul Pogba, but ultimately, as he tries to not have his head taken off by this pile driver of a shot, he's put his arm up, and that clearly, even if it's instinctive, it's still, Paul, for me, a deliberate act. They're still checking through VAR. What would you say?
I think on the way VAR over the moment, I think that's a penalty. I think he got up too quick to say it hit him in the face, and he hasn't played the game properly there.
You get it, your body reacts, doesn't it, in an instant, and that would have pretty much taken Pogba's head off. You can understand why he put an arm up, but that arm unquestionably blocks the ball. Clever play from Pogba to then go down holding his face to try and get away with it. West Ham's players were all over it and went straight to ref Paul Tierney. We still await a decision.
It's a penalty.
Wow. Wow. Paul Pogba with a grimace on his face. He doesn't protest. I think deep down he knows it is the right decision. As we look at one more shot of the replay, 1 additional minute, by the way, of added time, and from behind it's all the more obvious, actually, isn't it? Which is where the West Ham players saw it from, who went and appealed straight to the ref, who then, to his credit, went straight to VAR.
That's right, yeah, and you look at the shot now, it was going miles wide, but Pogba doesn't know that, and he tried to protect himself, but we know what VAR's like, and they see everything at the moment.
Okay, so Mikel Antonio, 4 goals against Norwich, 1 against Watford. From the spot, Antonio makes it 6 goals in 3 games, 10 for the season. He slides it into the corner, sending De Gea the wrong way. Man United 0, West Ham United 1.
Yeah, like we said, Russell, I think West Ham would have been happy going in at 0-0, but they've been given a lifeline here, and to go in 1-0 up, the manager would be over the moon.
Clever penalty. De Gea committed himself early to the right, and Antonio just calmly side foots it to the left of the Spaniard, and it nestles in the back of the net. Remember, 1982, the last time a former United manager came to Old Trafford and won in the league. David Moyes is 45 minutes away from doing it. The man they called the chosen one, the man who lived the legacy of Sir Alex Ferguson. It went horribly sour for Moyes at Old Trafford, but today so far has been a day to enjoy. Will it end up being, I wonder, a night to remember? Mikel Antonio's penalty, the difference between the sides. Man U dominating the stats, but huffing and puffing and ultimately failing to get the ball into the back of the net. West Ham's defending at times has been a bit last ditch, but they have given absolutely everything so far. And Moyes' game plan is working out pretty nicely indeed. Pressure on Man U and that dream of Champions League football. Huge 45 minutes ahead for them at the break. It's Man United 0, West Ham 1 on Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio.
Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
plenty they could do. It would be really interesting to see.
Yeah, like you say, you've got so many things you could change that for Manchester United, but I think the first 10 minutes would be big for them. I think they'll come out and try and get an early goal against West Ham and then take it from there. But I think the first 10 minutes for Manchester United is going to be big.
By the way, I do like the depth and strength of the West Ham bench at the moment. I appreciate that there's one or two players who are absent, the likes of Robert Snodgrass, but I mean Balbuena, Yarmolenko, Anderson, Lanzini, Allaire, Wilshere. It's not bad, is it?
No, I was looking at it before the game, and you look at that and you'd love that on your bench. I think a lot of Premier League clubs would love a bench like West Ham's got there. So,
but they're not all fully fit, those players. I mean, Yarmolenko plays 5 minutes and looks like he's broken. Wilshere, unfortunately, seems to look broken full stop, which is a real shame as a man who's covered him many times over the years. But ultimately, there is a lot of talent there.
There's some fantastic talent, and there's millions of pounds on that bench, and you like to think if West Ham need it, there's some change there as well.
Keep your tweets coming in. Suen has tweeted in from Lagos in Nigeria, expecting the video assistant ref to have a big call in this game, and he actually sent that on the 34th minute mark. So fair play to you, because obviously it was via VAR that penalty was given. Tony thinks that Man U will go on to win this 2-0, and Bouchy says, good evening, so great to see West Ham coming back to get a draw. Loving the live commentary from Nigeria. Prediction 1-1 at full time. Io from Nigeria confident that United will still come from behind and win. And Lord Constantine listening from Port Harcourt in Nigeria saying, come on West Ham, do it for my partner Mia. And he sent a picture of his wife watching the game, listening to us in a West Ham shirt. So yeah, fair play to you, my friend. We'll see whether or not your missus will be happy by the end of the night. She'll be happy at half time, and happy wife, happy life, as they say.
Yeah, well, let's hope hopefully she'll be happy after the 90 minutes, just not on the 45.
Now let's continue to look ahead to the other game tonight, Liverpool-Chelsea, and as we know, Liverpool will get the Premier League trophy come the end of it all. Jurgen Klopp, the boss, saying tonight's match, though, is not a party.
It's not the easiest game I ever prepared with the team, to be honest, because there are two things tomorrow night. Usually I don't have to think about something else apart from the football game, which helps me a lot because I can really be focused. I will try that, and I know the boys will try that as well. In the end, you only can win when we are at 100%, and we will see if that's possible tomorrow night. We have to go for something as well. It's not that we only are there and wait for until the party starts. We have to save a record, a home record, stuff like this. There are a lot of there for us as well.
It is a slightly tricky dichotomy, isn't it, for Jurgen Klopp, that it's a massive game, but one where this huge iconic carrot is dangling afterwards. That, to me, sounds like a fairly spot-on mentality he's highlighted there, even if it might be harder to achieve than to discuss, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I think, but they're professional footballers, and they want to go out on a high. Their unbeaten record at Anfield, they don't want to lose, and they know that trophy's coming at the end of the game, but you'd want to go out on a win, and Liverpool are going to want to win at Anfield tonight and keep that momentum going.
Just from your thoughts of your time there, such a passionately supported club and one that's waited so long, what's impressed you most about how they've gone out and achieved it, having come so close last season?
Partly that, I think they were so close last year, so it takes another year to go and to try and be the best, and I think they've been the best from start to finish this year, and the players, the managers bought in to the squad, and how they've adapted to how he wants to play has been second to none, and it looks like a manager that gets the best out of all his players no matter who's playing.
And I wonder what legacy, what dynasty we may or may not see from here, because others will come back hard as well, won't they?
Yeah, I think so, and I think Manchester City, for one, like you say, I think they'll be wanting to get the title back. Manchester United, Chelsea, you name it, they're all going to want to try and beat Liverpool to the league next year, and this time next year is going to be a great day.
And whether or not Liverpool incrementally improve again in the off-season or just build on this brilliant squad that they've got, that'll be important as well, won't it?
Yeah, and I think we keep hearing Klopp saying he's not going to bring too many additions in, and why would you when you've got a squad and a team that he's had? We all know you need one or two, and he'll know the ones that he wants to bring in, and hopefully he can bring that, and it can bring more competition in the Premier League.
Well, they have been excellent this season. Liverpool foot slightly off the gas since Project Restart and since the title was confirmed, but imperious before and still deadly on their day even now. They play Chelsea at 8:15 UK. Live commentary with Paul Parker and Tom Rennie. Second half here, fast approaching Premier League live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio.
Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Raven. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talksportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
TalkSport Legion, assume tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, TalkSportus can defeat it.
TalkSportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of TalkSport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, titanium plasmatronic death droids from the future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of talk.
It's easy to say, but it weren't to be, and Ollie ain't afraid to say that he's made a mistake. He said it the weekend, and he'd probably say it again tonight with the right back.
Okay, so Foster Mensah off, Aaron Wan-Bissaka on. Big money signing from Crystal Palace. Quality player, and one who's seen to have a great future and who's grown nicely into that role over the course of his time at Old Trafford so far. Into the first minute of the second half here on Premier League Live. Remember, Man United 0, West Ham 1, courtesy of that penalty from Mikel Antonio. Thomas Souček out to the far side as West Ham begin the second half with purpose as well. Ben Johnson's first time in swinging right cross off from Brandon Williams and out for a throw, which the Hammers will take in a second. Their team is Fabianski in goal, Johnson, Diop, Ogbonna and Cresswell at the back, Noble, the skipper, Souček and Rice in midfield, Bowen, Antonio and Fornals up front. And it was Mark Noble who tried to ease the ball forward from the edge of the penalty area. This time it was Man United's turn to defend in numbers. They get the ball clear. Only half clear though, bit of indecision. West Ham can't capitalise and West Ham win it once more. Good ball from Matic. In space already is the new man, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who comes charging forward wearing 29. Out to the far corner to Mason Greenwood under pressure from Ogbonna. And good work from Pablo Fornals, who gets back to help out his centre half. And West Ham work the ball upfield themselves. Souček to Rice, who slightly overhits. Cresswell lets it run. Fornals again, two players around him. And does well to smack the ball up to halfway. Almost finds Jared Bowen. But Williams cleverly just stands off the Welshman and wins the secondary ball. And Man U get it back on the halfway line through Nemanja Matic. Graceful long delivery to Williams. 1-2 with Rashford, who telegraphs that slightly, and young Johnson makes the interception. Not the best of passes there from Rashford. I think we all saw that one coming, didn't we?
We did from here anyway, Russell. Yeah, I think he's been a bit sloppy with his passing. He's obviously got a good couple of shots off, but other than that, Rashford's been a little bit sloppy going forward.
Paul Pogba, the man who gave away the penalty when he put his arm up to defend his face from that fierce Declan Rice drive. Plenty of drive and determination, I'm sure, from the world's most expensive player, as he was. Finds Martial, now to Rashford, hugging the dead ball line near the penalty area. Infield, first touch from Lindelof, who was up there. Finds Matic, beats one player, can't beat a second. Still just about keeps hold of it. Brandon Williams, turn from Anthony Martial. Here's Bruno Fernandes, back to Martial. One-touch football from Man U, but in the end the killer ball, the final delivery, was not what was required. And Angelo Ogbonna was more than happy to smack it downfield. Ogbonna missing a great chance in the first half. West Ham could easily be 2 up in this game. Fernandes' ball is poor, asking way too much of Martial, and in the end it's effectively a back pass straight into the gloves of Lucas Fabianski. Interesting tweet from Yemi Ajiboy, who says, I think that Fernandes' performances have dropped off in the last few games, Southampton, Palace and Chelsea, so he says maybe today's poor display by his lofty standards isn't quite such a surprise.
Maybe being a little bit harsh. Everyone has an off game, but he's been one of Manchester United's best players since he's come in, and like you say, he's 9 goals, 8 assists. That's not bad going for the amount of games he's played in.
And to be fair, it's almost impossible, Paul, to keep that level up for a whole sort of season or for months and months, isn't it? There's bound to be a little dip, and maybe that is coming now. Here come West Ham through Noble, edge of the penalty area, does well. Bowen lets the ball run, looking for Antonio, the goal scorer. And you nearly lose it, but Declan Rice reads the danger well. Johnson's in-swinging delivery, looking for Antonio. And this time David De Gea plucks it out of the air and claims the ball. The much maligned David De Gea does okay there. He's not actually been that busy in the game, has he? Apart from picking the ball out of the net. All he's seen is a header flash wide and a penalty basically go past him.
Yeah, I think, like we say, West Ham haven't really had any shots other than the penalty and maybe one Lindelof header chest that went back to him. But other than that, he's had the one thing to get out of the net, which weren't his fault today.
As things stand, by the way, it would be Man United and Leicester on the same number of points and with only 1 goal between them on goal difference for the fight for 4th going into the final day and playing each other. But it does not last for long because Mason Greenwood in the blink of an eye smashes it home. West Ham stand off their men and give Man U a glimmer, and it's all they need. And Greenwood back in the goals. This youngster is terrific. It's his 17th of the season. It's Manchester United 1, West Ham 1.
It's lovely play around the box. Martial and Greenwood 1-2 in around the box, and lovely, great finish from Greenwood. Gets that shot off early and gives Fabianski no chance.
Pogba finding Greenwood, and it's the ball, isn't it, from Martial.
Beautiful.
And then the second 1-2 between the pair, and that cuts Bonner, Diop and Souček all out of the game in one blink of an eye.
And the quick touch and finish from Greenwood was really good. Didn't let Fabianski get set, and he couldn't get down to make the save.
Excellent goal from Mason Greenwood. This kid really has been impressive. Did not start against Chelsea, straight back into the starting 11 today. Didn't maybe have the best of first halves, but such a tender age as well at 18. This kid has got immense promise, hasn't he?
Yeah, loads, and playing for a manager like Solskjaer, like we said, he likes playing the youngsters, and he believes in them, and he's shown that he believes in him because he's put him straight back in the team after the Chelsea game.
And the Man U academy bosses have had their eye on this kid for a long time as he's come through the age group ranks, and no wonder he's taking every opportunity pretty much that comes his way at senior level as well. And with Martial, Rashford, Fernandes pulling the strings when on song, it's a fearsome foursome. And talk maybe of bringing a Sancho or somebody in on top of that. Wow, we should wait and see.
I wouldn't like to play against it, Russell, I'll tell you that.
It'd be a busy old day in the office, wouldn't it? You'd earn your bath after that, crikey. Here come West Ham though at the other end. Excellent work from Bowen. Shot blocked. Jarrod Bowen, shot from distance on the ricochet from Declan Rice is over. But Jarrod Bowen up against Brandon Williams. Williams ended up on his backside. Bowen cut it, released a cannon of an effort, ricocheted off the Man U defence and back. West Ham, nice response.
Yeah, he gets West Ham up the pitch, Bowen, when he drives with the ball, and just gets to the other side of Williams, cuts inside on his good left foot, but two good defending players there, Matic and Maguire, trying to block it.
I suppose if you're Brandon Williams, and you'll know this from when you were a young fullback, until you've kind of fully filled out physically and got that full physical confidence, you can maybe struggle in that kind of position. Is that fair?
Yeah, I totally agree, and he's a big lad, Bowen. He's got great upper body strength, and like you say, Williams is still growing and physically not matured yet, and
just filling out, isn't he, effectively?
He is, yeah, and a little push here and there puts you off, and that's enough just to get your shot off, like we just see there with Bowen.
But when he's maybe sort of 22, 23, 24, that's when perhaps that won't be such an issue.
No, that's right, and as he keeps doing everything he's supposed to be doing, and he's going to be a great asset to Manchester United.
As it was, Man U weren't made to suffer, and they are back on the attack. Fernandes to the new man on the far side, Wan-Bissaka. Anthony Martial lets fly, powerful header. Fabianski was worried and threw himself to his right. It hit a West Ham defender and goes out for a corner.
Man United dictating now from the game, but Fernandes is dropping a little bit deeper to get on the football, and playing passes like that is great.
Yeah, it was Bonner who made the block. A new corner which Fernandes will take. Lofted out swinging delivery. Ghosting in was Marcus Rashford. Maybe saw it late. Lindelof had jumped. It fell beyond the Swede into Rashford, who just didn't quite have time to react because he was in a pretty decent position, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if Rashford was expecting it to go that far, but it got to him, and his touch weren't too great, but good defending from West Ham, and got themselves up the pitch.
Tambari Mildam has tweeted in saying, I hope that West Ham don't stop Man United's Champions League hopes. That's from Port Harcourt. Well, the goal came in moments after you tweeted, so you might be alright. We'll have to wait and see. And Carol, who lives on Florida's Gulf Coast, always sends us beautiful pictures of fluffy clouds and azure blue Florida skies. And she says, thanks guys, loving your commentary for helping my work day get along. So Carol, we're not jealous at all, are we, of her Florida Gulf Coast blue skies? Mind you, it's quite nice here. It's not been too bad at all. We've had a nice glut of weather here in the UK too. Paul Pogba on the ball, perhaps feeling a little happier and less guilty now that his team are at least level. He gave away the penalty with a handball that Mikel Antonio converted just before the break. Greenwood level for Man U, who are now looking for the goal to take them ahead. Dangerous delivery over the heads of the West Ham defence, and again it was Martial ghosting in, but neither he or Rashford could quite get there. And the ball trickles out of play, but it's suddenly Man U asking the majority of the questions in the game, just like how they began it. West Ham dragging themselves back into it brilliantly, but now they are very much back on the back foot, on the defensive. Man U, the team in the ascendancy. It really has ebbed and flowed intriguingly, this one, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and like you say, Russell, Manchester United just got back to grips with the ball, and they're putting West Ham under enormous pressure, and West Ham can't get out of their half at the moment.
So 55 minutes played here on Premier League Live. Man United 1, West Ham 1. Loving everybody joining us from around the world here on Premier League Live at TalkSport Live. Keep your tweets coming and we'll read you a few more in a few more moments' time. Just Sadie, by the way, saying that Man U have become too reliant on Bruno Fernandes. And if that's the case, good to see others stepping up. Appeals maybe for a penalty. Brandon Williams goes down under pressure from Jared Bowen. You mentioned their little one-on-one at the other end of the field. This time it was the Man U youngster who was the player on the front foot. Taking a look at the replay, there is a tiny little shove, to be fair, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, but I think that's expected, and a bit like what you spoke about a little while ago, Russell, that little bit of strength at top is just done enough for Bowen to push young Williams off the ball.
Yeah, it's that physical disparity, isn't it? And I think Bowen, even though he's not exactly a veteran player himself, he's just at that age, at around 23, 24, where he knows how to perhaps make his advantage count, and we've seen that now at both ends of the field. Robert Bobby thinking that there will be a De Gea Rick in this game before the end, saying they should have started Sergio Romero today and that Man U will rue that. That's Robert Bobby now. Will those prove to be prophetic words on that tweet? I wonder by full time or not, Paul.
Well, let's hope not. He's had a hard time over the last few weeks, but he's been okay so far, and I hope that continues for him.
Chizoki Izundu just saying, I don't trust Man U for a victory in this game. They've wasted too much possession and are lacking a cutting edge. I know what you mean, but the fact they've got that one goal, I think it just might be enough to get those juices flowing, that confidence going again, and maybe see them through. Bruno Fernandes over the top to the far side, controlled by the new man, by Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who certainly has made an impact since coming on. Just looks that bit more confident and probing on the ball at right back. Ball threaded through, looking for Fernandes, who loses his footing, beats the ground with frustration as the ball trickles out for a goal kick. And yeah, Fernandes hasn't had his best game, but he's still hungry, he still wants the ball, and he still wants to make things happen, and that's so important, isn't it? Yeah,
and I think that's why he's a fantastic player, because when things ain't going well, he's still trying to get on the football and trying to make things happen, and only good players can do that.
The ball has cannoned off a player. It is Wan-Bissaka, but unlike Pogba, he doesn't stick his hand out to protect himself, does he? He just takes it on the midriff.
I don't think he's going to let that one down from a lot of people, because it weren't even on his face, it was right above his head, so we still don't know why he was doing it.
Side A Tracker has tweeted in saying, should that have been a red card by the technical EPL rules, given the fact that handball was deliberate?
Ooh.
It's not a bad point. I mean, it would have been incredibly harsh, because it was clearly nothing other than self-preservation, but as he says, by the absolute letter of the law, he may not be wrong.
But I think if you give a penalty, you can't give a red card as well. I think that's the rule as well, one or the other.
And of the two, that felt to me the fairer one.
Of course.
For sure, I think for all concerned. Okay, we'll agree that one is the correct outcome. 58 played, by the way. Man United 1, West Ham 1, here on Premier League Live. United back on the attack. Here's Marcus Rashford. Johnson's track back, as says Declan Rice. Finds Bruno Fernandes, just slows things down, points to his right. Jinks the ball over the top to Pogba, and who gave that spot kick away. Matic, back to Williams. Back to this slightly languid and stagnant build-up from Man U as West Ham push out and try and deny their opponents time and space. Congested box ahead. Fernandes back over the top. Tries to put a bit of width to proceedings to Williams, who cuts nicely inside fellow youngster Johnson, but Declan Rice is there, senses the danger, fills the gap. Good example of Declan Rice reading the game well there for me.
Yeah, West Ham have got 10 players behind the ball. I'm just counting there. They've got 10 players for Manchester United to try and break down, and you get a frustrated shot like that from Pogba.
Callum Morris thinking it should have been a penalty plus yellow card for Paul Pogba from Ohio, which would have ticked both of those rules correctly. Fair point. And mentioning Pogba has a pop from distance, and that was always going to be high, wide and handsome, and it dips too late and ends up in a white awning that's covering some of the red plastic seats, of course, behind closed doors here at Old Trafford as we tick to the hour mark exactly. And you won, West Ham won, and a really interesting final 30 minutes ahead. Anyone going to win this for you, Paul, or not?
I think at the moment, I think Manchester United have had the upper hand. It's just finding it hard to break West Ham down, but I think Manchester United will go for it, because they're the ones who want the 3 points rather than West Ham.
I've seen a lot of Aaron Cresswell in the second half, but the Scouser, signed of course many years ago from Ipswich Town, I think it was, wasn't it? opens his legs and comes running forward. Good run from him. Fanals is brought into play. 1-2 between him and Declan Rice, but the return ball asking just a bit too much of the Spaniard. And in the end, West Ham, after a promising foray, a rare foray upfield, are forced all the way back to halfway. Johnson to Bowen, now to Mark Noble, back to Jared Bowen, who's certainly been busy in this second half. Back to Rice. He's now confident and happy to direct play, pointing Cresswell forward to Antonio. Antonio, powerful figure up against Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Pogba was there as well, and Greenwood. 3-on-1, so Antonio knew to give the ball back. Lovely 1-2 initially with Cresswell, but the return ball from Mikel Antonio overhit. Cresswell's run is in vain. Ball's given away. Greenwood then slips. Here come West Ham. Souček to Noble. It's opening up for Jared Bowen. Thinks about the shot, Jared Bowen. Excellent save from David De Gea. Took a deflection off the gloves of the Spaniard behind for a corner. Much better after his horror show last week. Bowen not too far away from putting West Ham back ahead.
No, fantastic feet here. Moves it to the right, gets a shot off. But great save from De Gea.
So I think it nicks off Williams just there. Makes the save even better. Corner taken quickly. Antonio doesn't hit it particularly well. And in the end it falls to the youngster Ben Johnson on the half volley from fully 35 yards out. His splicing effort in the end flies wide, but yeah, it was a decent save for two reasons, wasn't it? The deflection as well as just the athleticism.
Yeah, and he don't need the confidence. He looks like a confident lad, but that will give him a bit more confidence after the few mistakes that he's made.
Segun has tweeted in, Segun and Dare, saying if Man U don't win this game, then they don't deserve Champions League football. Take your point, but of course they could draw it and then beat Leicester on the final day and get it that way. And if they beat their nearest rivals, then you probably can't argue. But I appreciate that it's the kind of game they should be winning, given what they want and what their aspirations are. Decent run from Marcus Rashford, cutting in from the left, and he wins a corner. Good all-round play there from the England man.
Yeah, he looks so much better when he just goes at defenders with that pace. He goes by people like they're not standing there, and that was fantastic from Marcus.
Mason Greenwood is up. The centre halves are up. Bruno Fernandes will deliver this right-footed. Bead of sweat on his brow as he takes. Doesn't strike it particularly cleanly, the corner. Ben Johnson heads it half clear, but only as far as Williams, who was well placed. He picks up the return ball from Fernandes, dinks it in, looking for Harry Maguire. Maguire tries to steer his header back across goal to Rashford, and that allows Declan Rice to make the interception. Ball pumped back in and claimed calmly by Lucas Fabianski. And West Ham will take that all day long. Again, Man United didn't really make the most of the platform they'd set themselves.
No, I think the corner, it wasn't a great ball from Fernandes, and they couldn't really get hold of the ball from there. But good defending from West Ham, pushed up when they could, and left the space for Fabianski to get the ball.
Kene has tweeted in saying with his handball, is Paul Pogba possibly a better goalkeeper than David De Gea? Very good, I like it. Anyway, here come Man U ripping the game wide open. Rashford looking for Martial. Martial beat one centre half but couldn't beat the other. And in the end, as it all opened up, the ball was nicked off the Frenchman's toes, and West Ham get it clear once more. Sliver of hope there for Anthony Martial, who's looked good in parts during this game as he slips trying to put pressure on Lucas Fabianski, but we do see these periods where he drifts out of the game and looks a little bit disinterested and a little bit detached, and I know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has spoken about that at times, hasn't he, about where he needs to evolve.
Yeah, and it's probably games like this you need him to be alert for the whole 90 minutes, because when he is, he's fantastic and he can make anything happen at any time.
Shot from Jared Bowen was a little bit ambitious, but Bowen picks up the loose ricochet. Bruno Fernandes was the man who made the block but then gave it away. Bowen and Souček exchanging passes. Loose ball picked up on the edge of the box by Noble, tries to find Antonio. Antonio's ball is poor on this occasion though. Man United win the ball and then also win the free kick as Rashford is the man brought down. Again, just one or two slight glimmers. Man U have maybe just faded a little bit in recent minutes.
Yeah, I think they're making their own mistakes and West Ham are punishing them. But West Ham just not creative enough around the box, and I think they're trying to be too casual to try and make something happen.
What do you think about Kene's tweet? Could Pogba be a better keeper judging that than De Gea?
I feel sorry for David De Gea. He's going to get some stick, but I think Ollie said he's a strong character and he's got a great mentality.
Just on that for a second, Dean Henderson, as we well know, has been tearing it up as a Man U loanee at Sheffield United. He doesn't want to come back quite rightly and be number 2. Chelsea are interested in Henderson. Other loanees are interested in him. What do you do if you're Man U? Do you try and cut De Gea loose and bring Henderson in? Do you try and keep them both? It's a very, very difficult one, isn't it?
It's a massiss shout, and like you say, Henderson's been unbelievable for Sheffield United this year and last. Yeah, and he's got that game time now, and he'll want to come back and be Manchester United number 1, not number 2.
Obviously, with international ambitions of his own at 23, he does not want to see his career stagnate, so we'll keep a very close eye on that in the coming months. Here come West Ham. Nice 1-2 between Fornals and Cresswell, who lets fly. And we know that Aaron Cresswell has got a cannon of a left foot, maybe caught slightly in 2 minds between the cross or shot. In the end, a powerful delivery that fizzes just high and wide of the goal. There's a left back yourself there, Paul. Was that the issue? Caught slightly in 2 minds?
I think he was more caught in 2 minds, so either pull it back to the edge of the box with a midfielder running on to finish, or to try and find Antonio, and like you say, it was either.
Here come Man United through Matic, poor delivery, cut out well. Nice interception by Issa Diop, the centre half, who was in a very forward position. Finds Declan Rice, oh, not too far away. Lovely effort from a man who's got a sweet right foot. Looking for his second of the season. It opened up for the England man. Not too far away from De Gea's left-hand upright.
No, Manchester United players are getting frustrated with each other. I heard Pogba shouting there a minute ago, and it leads to this chance for Declan Rice. And you let him get it on his right foot. We see what happened the other night against Watford. He just put it in the top corner.
It's even closer than I thought, actually. Very close.
It was very good, and it got De Gea worried.
Yeah, he scored an absolute beauty against the Hornets, did Declan Rice. Took a while for it to come this season. Will he get another? Very, very close. So the second drinks break.